There's an all-new SUV from Infiniti, and it comes at the right time because at the moment they only have 2 vehicles in their lineup. But is it actually new? We'll get into that a little bit later. But for now, do us a favor, hit those like and subscribe buttons below to get all of our latest content. This is the all-new 2027 Infiniti QX65. I said it was sort of all-new because it's based on the 3-row mid-size QX60. And like the QX60, it carries a lot of the styling over from the larger QX80. And that's obvious up front. It's got this massive grille up front that sort of defines Infiniti's design language going forward. It's bold, it's big, and maybe not for everyone, but I think it's an improvement over some of the last designs I've seen from Infiniti. I especially like the grille up front because it has these converging lines that all kind of meet up right at the logo. It kind of all ties it together. It gives it a little more purpose than it had before. Up top we have these accent lights here and an illuminated Infiniti logo at night, so it'll have a little more presence than it's ever had before. Now from this point forward, it's a lot like the QX60. From this point backwards, however, it changes quite a bit. It has the sloping rear roofline that kind of conveys that coupe-like SUV look, and it's accentuated by this really nice chrome strip here that gives it a little more of a taper, or at least a suggestion of a taper though. The big thing for me is actually the paint, which is something I don't really get into much, but this is their Sunfire Red paint, and it's really impactful. It has these gold-coated glass flecks in the paint itself, which gives it that kind of candy apple red finish that I'm used to seeing out of custom lowriders, and it looks really good on here. It's really impactful. It really helps it stand out on the road, apart from almost anything else out there. Here in the back, the tail tapers down to a really sharp point, almost like a Lamborghini Urus. We have this bold Infiniti type spread across the tailgate and these distinctive segmented sections in the light bar that stretches from edge to edge. Overall, if they were looking for a sportier interpretation of the QX60, I think they nailed it. Like a lot of Infinitis, this QX65 is based on an existing Nissan vehicle. In this case, it's the Pathfinder, and it uses the same engine as the QX60, which is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that's good for 268 horsepower and 286 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission, and all-wheel drive is standard. Now, there have been complaints that maybe the QX60 is a little too leisurely in its performance, but Infiniti says that they've retuned the engine and transmission for a little more responsiveness. We'll have to find out when we actually drive this sometime in the spring. At its maximum, the QX65 could tow up to 6,000 pounds. Normally, when you adapt a 3-row midsize SUV to a 2-row, you make some gains in regard to legroom. But that's actually not the case with the QX65. You lose about 2 inches up front and in the rear. And headroom-wise, because of the sloping rear roofline, you only lose about ½ an inch. But we'll get to the space back there in just a bit. Here up front, a lot of what you see is actually standard in all QX65 models. That includes things like a power liftgate, this panoramic sunroof, tri-zone climate control, and synthetic leather upholstery. You also get this 12.3-inch instrument panel, as well as a 12.3-inch infotainment touchscreen. And it's running on Google built-in, which means you get a lot of the built-in maps, as well as some decent voice controls, but like every voice control, they take a few seconds to register and then execute. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard, and you also get their newest version of their wireless charging pad. It has that magnetic puck on there so that it ensures that your phone is always secure there. And it's just easier to locate it when you're kind of just randomly tossing your phone in there, but it also charges quicker and keeps your phone cooler. In the mid-range sport trim, you get cooled seats and a 16-speaker clips audio system. In addition to those, you also get a surround view camera. When you step up to the top autograph trim, you really get a bunch of the bells and whistles that you can't get otherwise. That includes the 21-inch wheels, a hands-free power liftgate, and instead of the synthetic leather seats that you get with the other trims, you get genuine leather with these really unique quilting patterns in there. It's a little more organic, it's not quite as angular, and I actually really like it a lot, especially with this brilliant red leather. In addition, you also get heated rear seats and additional speakers in the headrest here so that as a driver, you don't have to interrupt everyone else's music or podcast with driving directions or warnings. And to top it all off, you also get a head-up display, digital rear-view mirror, and the ProPilot 2.0 hands-free highway driving assist. Now, as far as materials quality, it's nicer than what you get with a Pathfinder, and noticeably nicer too. I still like that we get these physical knobs for the climate control. Makes it easier while you're driving to make quick adjustments, but it's behind this glossy panel that, I don't know, gives a more modern, a little more upscale look. Now the shifter is pretty much the same one you get in a Nissan, but it's much, much nicer. You have metal accents, a leather wrap around it, and it just feels appropriate for a luxury car. So overall, I think it steps up things enough so that you don't have to worry about too much crossover with the Pathfinder. When it comes to personal storage stuff, it's pretty good. I already mentioned we have this handy wireless charger, but pretty well-sized cup holders, large door pockets. You also get the center armrest bin, which is fairly deep, but not all that large. And then, if that's not enough for you, there's a huge bin underneath the center console. Despite losing a little bit of legroom back here, as you can see, I'm not really needing for more. I have tons of space, and even when I slide it forward, I still have plenty of legroom. Headroom-wise, I'm maybe just a fraction of an inch before hitting the headliner, but again, I'm 5'10". It's pretty good back here. Behind the second row of seats, we have 35.8 cubic feet of cargo space, and when you flip them down, 67.7. That comes out to about 5 or 6 cubic feet less than the standard QX60, but as you can see, there should be plenty of space. Now, helping matters is you have power folding rear seat backs, so you don't have to go crawling in and reach for a latch or anything like that. There's also a handy and large underfloor bin, and you also have a couple of handy hooks here to keep your shopping bags organized. In the class of luxury SUVs that the QX65 resides in, there are a handful of direct competitors. One of them is the Acura MDX, which is less expensive and a little more sporty to drive. There's also the Genesis GV80, which is about as expensive as an Audi or Benz equivalent. When this goes on sale in the early summer of 2026, prices should start between $55,000 and $60,000 for the base trim, which is actually the Luxe trim. Fuel economy should come in right around 24 mpg in combined city and highway driving, which is better than the MDX, the GV80, as well as the Mercedes GLE and Audi Q8. The thing is though, they make quite a bit more power, and they also have a few hybrid models mixed in there. Overall, I think this is a nice, sporty interpretation of the QX60, which should appeal to those who really don't need a third row of seats. But what do you think? Would you go for the QX65 or maybe stick with the regular QX60? Let us know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons below, and we'll see you in the next review.